And so basically, I pretty much marked out the first time Stinger was I actually got to drive and travel with Stinger. So that would be my mark out moment there. The first time I met The Rock was the first time I did the thing in Phillips Arena. He was getting his tattoo done. And I had a couple tats. I just walked up to him or not really walked up to him, but was standing next to the ring, and I walked over and introduced myself, and he went, "Yeah, Scotty, I know you." And he even said, "Because you got a great drop kick. I've seen you before. We miss each other." He goes, "We miss each other in Memphis." He goes, "He was Flex Kavanaugh wrestling in Memphis, and which was in I think '94, and he had gone to Rocky Maivia in the WWF." And maybe 3 months later or so, I went into the USWA and started wrestling there. And that's where he was before he went to WWF. So we had just kind of missed each other over that time period. So it was kind of one of those deals where when you meet the guys, you kind of mark out for just a second, but then you realize we're all part of the same team. We're the boys. We're this, we're that.
Right.
This guy might have a little more celebrity status. It's like I said before, Bret Hart walked up to me and said, "Hey, can I sit down and eat lunch with you?" I was kind of like, "Yeah."
Like, that's Bret Hart. You're not gonna say no to Bret Hart.
Well, no, I mean, you don't want to say no, but even if I had one bite left, I would have made that one bite last an hour. Just
like
to
an hour.
The guy.
Like an hour.
I would have been cutting that little last bite of chicken in or whatever, and those last 6 peas, I would have ate those last 6 peas one at a time just to sit there and chat with the guy.
Now,
so,
if you could work with anybody today, whether it be CM Punk, whether it be John Cena, whether it be someone from TNA, so many I just can't think of them. Me personally, Scotty, I love wrestling. I just hate the product of TNA. Your former tag team partner said he thinks that TNA's product is better than WWE's product. So it's a two-way question. Which one do you think has the better product? And if you could work with anybody today, who would that be?
Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm a wrestling fan. And I've gotten on so many, especially my Facebook account, I've gotten on so many conversations and never having to block people because they get so just belligerent with you.
Right.
I'm a wrestling fan, not a sports entertainment fan. I put a thing up on my Facebook today that said, pro wrestlers used to have to deal with pain.
Mm-hmm.
Sports entertainers have to deal with makeup.
Oh, I like that.
So, but and then I had this guy poke fun of me basically saying, Scotty Riggs is just jealous, because he never made it to the big time, the big show in WWF or WWE. He can't be, he can't have the notoriety of John Cena. He can't even tie the boots of John Cena and all this stuff. So I deal with that all the time. But the thing is, people don't understand me. They don't know me personally. I didn't get into pro wrestling to be a star, to be a celebrity, to be anything. I got into it because my dad started watching me when I was 8 years old, and I liked wrestling. I wanted to be a wrestler. I didn't want to be a superstar. I didn't want to be whatever, a sports entertainer. Terry Funk said, if you want to be a sports entertainer, go into Hollywood. You get your SAG card. You get benefits. You get stuff like that. You get insurance. You get dental. You don't have any of that stuff with Vince. Vince will, as soon as he's done with you, he'll put you out the, the pasture. He'll get rid of you. He goes, don't ever go there. If you want to be a wrestler, WCW, Independence, Ring of Honor, and TNA, I actually think TNA's product is better now than, WWF or WB, excuse me. They had a great show tonight. Of course, first time I watched it because of you cats, but they had a great show tonight. And I've always heard after a pay-per-view, their next night, their next Raw will always be good because they're creative and everybody else has a fire underneath them, and they will put a great product out that next night, and then it kind of dwindles down. Even though it's supposed to be building it up, they dwindle down there. And they're so character-driven up there. That Brodus Clay guy doing, basically he's doing Disco Inferno with Too Cold Scorpio put together, with the Disco Ball and all, and that Grandmaster Flash.
I thought Ernest the Cat with Too Cold Scorpio.
I mean, but that's the thing.
Miller.
Sports entertainment, I can't get into the WWE. I can't get into their product because they got some of the best talent there, bar none. but they're not using them because they all want to be characters. They all want to be all superstars or celebrities. They all want to wear their all T-shirts. And the guys go out and put on great matches, but I find out basically, and I know from first-hand experience, they basically will tell you, okay, this is how your whole match is going to go. They'll have an Arn Anderson or a Dustin Rhodes. They don't even call them road agents anymore. They call them producers. They will have their producers lay them out every move, every move they do during the match, and tell them where to be, how to work the camera, and everything else. It's a TV show. They are a complete TV show. Very few guys have their own.
Now, Scotty, that one little thing you said there.
Expression.
That one little thing that you said, I have to kind of question about the producer over the road agent, because I speak to a couple of the guys that you call producers that they call themselves road agents, like BJ, Billy Gunn. I mean, not Billy Gunn, Road Dogg, those guys. So is it that those guys still call themselves road agents and the company call them producers, or? Well,
the thing was that they used to be called road agents just because they were wrestlers.
Right.
They put the matches together, give you finishes and stuff like that, and actually tell you how much time to do and what you were allowed to do and what you couldn't do because of where you were in the card or whatever. And they used to call them road agents. Vince changed that to producers because he goes, we're not a wrestling company. We're a television show. I don't have agents. I have producers. So he just basically changed the lingo on it. It's basically the same position. It's just a different terminology. TNA, I actually think their product is better because, not that I get along with Jeff Jarrett at all, I really don't, but I know how he focuses on wrestling. Kurt Angle is a guy that I wish I could have a match with just because he knows wrestling. Kurt basically came from a wrestling background, and he knows how to mix in the amateur style. I remember I put up an old match of Ole Anderson on my Facebook thing and said he was UFC before there was UFC. If you watched his match, Ole Anderson back in I think it was an 80s match, was basically taking the guy down with amateur moves. And even though it was just a guy, an enhancement guy, a jobber guy he was beating up, he was throwing him around like a rag doll with amateur wrestling moves, and then he started beating him up by beating on his arm and stuff like that. So that's the thing with Kurt Angle. That's why I would love to work with him, is Kurt knows how to wrestle. He knows how to bring that out of you. And that's why I would like to be that's why I got into the wrestling business, was to be a wrestler. And that was it. I didn't want to be this huge star. I wanted to be a wrestler. I didn't worry about being Hulk Hogan or the next, whatever you want to call it. The next big thing. I didn't want to be that. I just wanted to be a wrestler. Whether I was open a match, mid-card, tag team, didn't matter. I just wanted to be part of the show because that's what I wanted to do. It was like my job passion. Some people want to be a cartoonist. Some people want to be a radio host. That's what you seek after. That's what you do. And that's what I want to do. I want to be a wrestler. I didn't want to be a celebrity, That's why it was so much fun being a bad guy for Dusty Rhodes when I didn't have to sign. I asked Jesse, you want me to sign autographs? He goes, what do you think? I'm like, I mean, you're number one bad guy. No, I don't think I should. He goes, well, if you don't think you should, you shouldn't. He goes, because that's what's selling the tickets for us. Because if you go out there, act mean and do all this bad stuff and then walk out and sign autographs for everybody and take pictures and kiss babies, people are going to go, oh, he's really such a nice guy. And actually, they're not going to boo you anymore. They're not going to buy a ticket so you get your butt kicked. So that's what I sought after. Now you got these guys who go out and, I hate to say it in a sense, but The Miz. Who's afraid of The Miz? I don't think The Miz could beat himself out of, a paper bag. But he always has this scowl on his face like he hates everybody. And people go, man, that's actually kind of cute. I mean, I look at it and go, there's just no intimidation factor to that. And that's what, to be a heel, you got to have that intimidating factor that people will be scared of you. Sid Finley was one of the toughest dudes I ever met in my life, and he always told me stories about guys used to say to him, wrestling's fake and all this stuff, and they go, oh, really? And he goes, give me your thumb. And he would actually break guys' thumbs. He'd actually put a little pressure, and the guy would wince a little bit, and he'd go, don't hurt, and all of a sudden his friends would be laughing because the guy's wincing, and then he'd go snap and break the guy's thumb and go, how's that feel? And the guy would be screaming in pain, and his friend thinks he's kidding around, but then Sid goes, have a good day, and walk away from the guy and goes, that's how real pro wrestling is. Make fun of me, I'll show you how real it is.
So this
again,
to answer
your question, sports entertainment versus wrestling. I wanted to be a wrestler. I didn't want to be an entertainer. Entertainer, let me go Hollywood.
All right, so this question from the chat room, Mr. Riggs, we got from OG Nitty, one of the good friends and founder fathers of the program. He asked the question, if WWE offered you a contract today, would you sign it?
To be honest with you, somebody asked me on my Facebook today, and my basic answer is no. Okay. I mean, it's, again, for the same exact reason. I wouldn't want to go there because, number one, however they would want to use me, I wouldn't know how they want to use me. You know, just the main reason Sting didn't want to go there. Sting was like, dude, I've built this persona for so long. If I go there, all I'm going to have to do is walk out there against The Rock, and Rock's going to go, who are you, you clown in the face paint? And the next thing you know, everything he had worked for is going to be gone. I could go out there, and they want me to be, you know, Billy Gunn and Chuck Palumbo. I'm so in love with you with somebody as a tag guy, and that's not me. You know, I'm not going to be acting like I want to propose my tag team partner. You know what I'm saying? That's not my gimmick. And so there's no way in God's green earth I could do that.
Oh,
so
wow.
That's why there's no way I could ever be a part of that company. Even though at one point, you know, I kind of pursued it a little bit, like when I was talking to Jim Ross and those guys.
Right.
But I was so thankful they said, you know, you just don't have the character we're looking for. You got the wrestling skills, but, you know, you don't have a personality that we feel we can work with. And a lot of guys will lose their jobs or not be used and make very little money because creative can't find something for them to do.
Well, I know Hitman Lopez, you know, is over there salivating like I told you. No, he's a huge and I'm older in age, and I love all wrestling. You know what I mean? I grew up. I'm 36. I grew up off of NWA.
You're a kid. I'm 4 years older than you, so you're a kid.
You're 4 years older than me. How you gonna call me a kid? Come on, I've had
you were just getting into high school when I was in college. You're a kid.
2 tears in a bucket. You know the rest, right?
Yeah, I got you. Suck it.
All right. No, don't. You can't tell other man suck it. That's Brokeback. You can't. I realize you can't go around telling other men to S or D. That doesn't sound right. You know what I mean? But Scott, you know what? It was a pleasure having you on, my friend. I appreciate it. I thank you. Listen, now I know since you've been advertising coming on Perfect Plex Talk Radio, part of the best damn strong radio networks, everybody's after you now. They got to wait a week, but it's okay. You came here first. We appreciate it, Scotty.
Dude, I mean, the funny thing was, as soon as y'all put that first thing up on my my message board, my Facebook,
everybody came around.
The next thing you know, I had messages from promoters wanting to book me for shows, promoters, radio shows. I actually had a radio show tomorrow night with me and DDP. We're going to be on it. The guy was like, I know you're doing this thing Monday. We want you Tuesday. But they actually canceled the show Tuesday, and DDP and me are now on doing a show for the guy that's coming Friday. But I got tons and tons of little things coming up that all these guys want to use me for this, want me to make an appearance here, and you guys actually kicked that off. You know.
But you know what? You remember the saying from my man Emilio Estevez and Young Guns? You come on here, we make you famous.
There you go.
But you already famous.
All I remember is after they did peyote in that movie is that one guy right before he pukes, he goes, "Horse, you see the size of that chicken?"
Well, people,
that's my favorite line. That's my favorite line of that movie right there. So,
again, Scott, I thank you very much, man. I look forward to talking to you again at a later date. I want everybody to do what we do best here on Perfect Plex Talk Radio. Stand on your feet for Scotty Riggs. Thanks, Scott.
Oh, thank you, guys. Mike, main event. Appreciate it, my friends. It was
thank you.
Thank
pleasure.
You.
Yeah. Perfect Plex Radio. We about to go live on them. Hey, Mr. Main Event, B-Dub, Mike Knoxxx. That's with 3 X's because he's hardcore. Are y'all ready? I go by the name Fred Knoxxx. We about to